Hello and welcome to this week's case review. My name is Shane from Shanesmithlaw.com. Today we're going to be talking to one of our attorneys, Carilyn Ibsen, about one of her recently settled cases. She represented two people in one accident, CB and KO. Tell me a little bit about the case we're talking about today here, Carrie.
Well, we got this case about a couple of weeks after this accident happened. This couple was driving down from, I believe, somewhere up north, New York area, back to Florida. And they were simply driving through North Carolina, and they were in a terrible accident. They were hit by a drunk driver. That drunk driver hit the car, pushed the car so far out with such impact, pushed the car and flipped it over at the same time. Very bad accident. We were contacted a few weeks after because they had been working with another attorney prior to us and weren't happy with that attorney. They felt there was some lack of client contact and they just didn't know what was going on. And they were back in Florida. They were in a lot of pain and they needed.
Tell me about the DUI. So what happened there was the defendant who caused the accident was drinking and driving. Is that right?
That's correct. So we know those cases as DUIs, DWIs, driving while impaired. We are notified of them on the accident report by a simple indication was there alcohol involved. And when I see an accident report like that, I immediately take that driver's name and I start using the experience as a former DA and looking at it as a DA would look. Okay, who is this person? What has he done before? What happened here? What I do is I find out, one, is he still in jail or has he been released from jail? I immediately request to get a copy of the criminal file, which is different than the accident report. A lot of people think that the report is a police report. That in a DUI, that is not the case. There is a separate report that's filed at the courthouse, which has a narrative about what happened, a probable cause declaration showing that the officer had probable cause to arrest this person for driving while impaired. And it also shows us jail records, what his blood or breath may have been at the jail, what a magistrate thought of him, how long they kept him in the jail before he was safe to be released to the public. These are all really important that we need to know with these cases.
Are we also able to find out if they've had any prior DUIs or anything about their driver's history?
In most cases, yes. What we do is we run driving records on them and we see if they have prior DUIs, if there's any suspensions, because all of this helps with the case to show just the punitive nature and how this elevates it more than just simple negligence.
Okay. And I don't remember CB and KO, what were their overall injuries from the accident itself?
Well, they went to the hospital up here in Charlotte and the hospital made sure there were no internal injuries or broken bones, but they had some pretty bad neck and back injuries. And I was real proud of the fact that myself and the paralegal, we worked very hard down in Florida to get them into treatment because one of them did not have health insurance. So we used our provider network and we got them in with an orthopedic doctor down there, got them both MRIs, got them some counseling for the DUI because they were both experienced a lot of traumatic effects of getting back on the road. So we set them up with counseling. We got them into an orthopedic doctor down in Florida and got them better. Found out they had some pretty bad back injuries and a disc bulge, and they received treatment for that.
So you mentioned counseling. So tell me a little bit about that. You were able to get them counseling just to deal with the accident itself and the DUI nature. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, whenever you're in an accident, you have flashbacks. You don't just get back on the road and feel safe again. You always are going to remember that time when you were in that same driving pattern or traffic pattern and you see a car crossing or crossing the intersection in front of you and you panic. And then what makes it even more scary is if you find out there was alcohol involved. And in this case, there was alcohol involved. Their car flipped over. It was totaled. They thought for a split second they were going to die. And that doesn't leave you. And our cases aren't just about medicals. They're also about the emotional effect that we have after these accidents. And it's important that we acknowledge that and we get our clients help.
Well, great. It's amazing you're able to do that. And I hope they got a good resolution on that where they're not afraid to drive anymore and afraid to be on the road. I know sometimes clients have told us before, yeah, now they're worried everybody's drinking and driving and headed after them. So it sounds like you got them the help they needed there. What was the overall, what happened with the insurance company? How'd you deal with that?
Well, once I find out it's a DUI, it puts the case in a different, absolute different zone for me. I'm going for the maximum I can on that case. And we received the maximum policy limits on that. They both received 6-year settlements.
That sounds wonderful. It sounds like you got them the treatment they needed and got them a great result. And these clients, it sounds like we're very, very happy. So overall, thanks for talking to us today, Carrie. And it sounds like you did a wonderful job for your clients. To our listeners out there, remember, if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999, or our free book, Victim Survivor Guide to Car Accidents at Shanesmithlaw.com. And we'll be going over another case next week. Hope to see you there.
980-999-9999. 980-999-9999. Shanesmithlaw. In pain, call Shane.